This is all of the groundwater declines. Look, groundwater declines across the U.S. and the South. Oh, it's happening. A third of the...
So before I get this lesson started, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakodash, and double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, of whom I learned from in Shalom, to the hope elect brothers taking his truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect spirits of Yasharallah to the marriage supper of the Lamb. It's your brother Radah with a really short lesson on the droughts. There's multiple reasons why this is happening. It's definitely something to look into. Check this out, man. Look at this.
World's underground water stuff, they're getting depleted. And what if all of that aquifers, all of them, what if they're going underground to these cities that people are going to live in? What if they are, you all? Think about it. A third of the world's underground water is being depleted. And look here in the United States. Look, groundwater declines. So if the groundwater is declining, where's it going? Where is it going? And the data centers will certainly run out of water. This is all.
I want to suggest something. I believe that there are underground tunnels and laboratories and even probably little miniature cities in America. I understand that, but the understanding of the elite on the left-hand side, the higher up you go, they understand that America at some level is going to be completely destroyed. So this is why they have their underground, their $1 trillion underground bunkers in other locations on the planet. Plus, they got to fulfill prophecy because they are taken in chains at the end of World War III when Yahushua comes back. So they got to live, right? To fulfill that prophecy, I believe it's in Proverbs that we take the rulers or the kings in chains. I don't think the water that is drying up in Arizona and Lake Mead, and I mean it's all over Lake Michigan. The lakes and the rivers, you guys, are completely they're disappearing here in America. It's because of prophecy. I think the Alahayim have control. They do have control over the fountains and the springs of water. And America was only created for a specific amount of time before it would be completely melted. And there's no point for water to be in this nation if it's going to be completely melted. Check this out on look at this one on TikTok. I got another one on TikTok. Just read the color coding. And I think the one where it says water rich, I think that's off because even Lake Michigan is losing water. The water's going into the ground. So we understand through reading Genesis about the springs of water, Yahweh by Shem Yahushai he controls the waters, right? And the springs, it's not just rain, there's water deep in the earth that will come up and water. It feeds the rivers, it feeds the lakes. It's like a whole circular vascular system, you know what I mean? So this judgment is coming. Let me see if I can hold on. I'm gonna let this play. I'm gonna pull over because I'm driving right now. I don't want to get a wreck. But let me let this play, and I'm gonna pull over some other recordings of how the water is just disappearing. Hold on really quick. Let me get back in here. I'm going to pull over.
Go past this light. Then, at the next one, use the left 2
Slovakia for that. Okay, so right here, there's a whole bunch of check this out. These are just all these random, well, it's not random, it's prophecy. These are all these huge water areas all over America. Look at this.
Lake Mead, the largest reservoir in the United States, has dropped 180 feet since the year 2000. And Las Vegas was so terrified of what was coming that it spent $817 million drilling a secret emergency tunnel under the lake bed before most of the...
So right there you can see they got the technology to drill underground, but they're not just drilling underground in America, they're drilling underground in other areas because the elite, the higher up you go, they understand that America's going to be destroyed. And they got to fulfill prophecy. So the left-hand Elohim makes sure that they direct the elite on the left-hand side, the Lucifer, down the path of prophecy to fulfill prophecy.
Country even knew there was a crisis. The reservoir is now at 34% capacity. Hoover Dam has lost 37% of its power generation. And if the water drops another 30 feet, 12 of the 17 turbines would shut down. Arizona has already lost 18% of its annual water allocation.
So I did a lesson on this when I first started my channel about 4 years ago, going on 4 years ago. And I know and understand a whole lot more now. I'm from a state that you have to, when you're born and raised in a state, that's your worldview. Okay, you think the whole planet operates the same way how you raise, and that's not the truth. Where I'm from, everybody physically has to water their own grass. Or they have a sprinkler system set in that's connected to an irrigated water source, and there's a timer where the sprinklers will automatically come on and water the grass because it doesn't rain in Arizona. I think they get maybe 3 to 6 inches of rain a year, and that's mostly in the summertime when the monsoons come, and the ground out there is so hard that when it rains just a quarter of an inch or so, it floods because the ground cannot absorb the water fast enough. When I moved to Georgia, I was freaked out at how much it rained out here. I'm used to it now. Mentally, emotionally, it was weird to me. I had never seen this much cloudiness with this much rain, and then the amount of rain that would come down, it would go right into the ground. It would automatically absorb it. And I was like, oh, it's going to flood. And no, it doesn't flood. In Arizona, everybody has a hose. You'll see people standing outside watering the grass. You have to physically water your grass in Arizona or it will die. That's how much it doesn't rain. So everything in that state is dependent upon the Colorado River. It's not like that over here.
5 sets of human remains, including a mob-era murder victim sealed in a barrel, have surfaced from the receding water. A World War II landing craft that sat 185 feet below the surface for decades is now halfway out of the lake.
It is currently sitting at 1,064 feet, but that number is a thin veil over a dark and approaching technical disaster. To understand why every hydrologist in the American Southwest is losing sleep, you must understand a terrifying physical limit known as the state of a dead pool. Imagine a massive pitcher of water with a spout near the bottom, where gravity naturally pushes the liquid out as long as the level remains above that opening. But once the water drops below that crucial threshold, the spout becomes useless, and the liquid trapped inside stays there forever, unable to move without massive external energy. For the Hoover Dam, this fatal threshold is exactly 895 feet above sea level, a point where the massive...
And all that water, all that white, that's where the water used to be. So America, we're understanding all the signs of the times. The technology is set up for the mark of the beast. War is at an all-time high. Everyone is beginning to see the so-called white man for who and what he is. He's being exposed every day on the internet by the Hebrew Israelites, according to the truth in Scripture, and by just random people, because the Most High is making Esau bare. You got all these things going on. They're spraying the skies. All the food is effed up. The oil is shot because of fucking what's going on with Iran. Iran is strengthened because of prophecy. Prophecy is on the side of Iran. because Esau's at the end of his fucking world. You got all this going on, and now we see that food shortages are going to come, and now the water.
Lake Michigan is losing 3 feet in 90 days. And underneath Chicago's pipes, there's something far worse than just dropping water. Picture this. Right now, somewhere beneath the streets of America's 3rd largest city, an invisible catastrophe is unfolding. Not a flood, not a fire, but a geological wound that's been opening for millions of years. And it's swallowing water from the very source that keeps 8
So that tells me right there that the fountains are being controlled by the Alahayim, and they're drawing the water out of America. It's not just the data centers. This is Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai doing this, okay? There's a precept that I want to get in that first video. I snapshotted it. Look, we understand that Jeremiah 50 and Jeremiah 51 is talking about Mystery Babylon, the land of the north, America, right? A drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up, for it is the land of graven images. It's talking about America. This goes into Isaiah 19. And they are mad upon their idols. Okay, so this is going into what the Most High is specifically doing to this geographical location, because it's up for judgment, because this is the 4th part of the earth, which houses the 1/3 of man, and that 1/3 of mankind is talking about the majority of the population of the nation of Edom, the Edomites, the so-called white men. And it also includes 2/3 of our own people who refuse to repent. So this is like major, man. This is a major thing. This is honestly, this prophecy, for some reason, this one is the one that makes me nervous.
million people alive.
I ain't gonna lie, man. And my only justification, it's not that I don't have faith. I have absolute faith. It has to happen. I want it to happen. But the idea of not having the ability to drink when you're thirsty. Woo-hoo! What's that precept? I got to use it to defend myself. It's Ezra. We understand that Ezra was a very masculine man, right? Let me see. Who will save me? Who will save me? Who will deliver me? Who will save me? Let me see. Second Ezra. It's right here, bro. We understand even within the book of Ezra, because it says everything would get smaller and shrink and get weaker and more corrupt. We understand that in Ezra's time, men were physically bigger. Their body chemistry was more purified. They were less defiled by the food or by Esau's diet, right? So there was a power in the masculinity. So this is a very masculine man, right? This dude is not a coward. He's not a punk. And when he's looking at these prophecies, even him in his masculinity, in his ancient world understanding, he's like, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? When I see this is what gets me like that. It's like, damn, man, the water.
Picture this.
Look.
You're standing on the banks of America's most critical river, a lifeline that sustains 40 million people across the entire Southwest. But here's the contradiction. The Colorado River doesn't actually reach the ocean anymore. It just stops. Somewhere in the desert about 7 miles short of the Gulf of California, it literally disappears. And if current trends...
See, that's not Esau doing that. That's Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai doing it. Yes, Esau is doing a lot of stuff on the left-hand side because Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai equips him to. But also, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai directly through the host, the Alahayim, the right and left-hand powers, they're doing this too, you guys. Kahal Alahayim La Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, give them all glory. But this is what's happening.
Within 5 years, that loss will be complete. The entire river system will hit zero discharge. No flow, no water, nothing. The Colorado River was supposed to be eternal. It was supposed to flow. Instead,
well, America has a time limit on it, and now that we understand that in prophecy, that means every system, every water system, every natural, whatever we call them, system, those were all made with the idea of temporary in mind, because Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai always knew that this was the place he was going to destroy with fire, that this was the place he was going to turn into a memorial called the Lake of Fire. So there's no need for the fountains to be actively... Why would he want the sprinkler system on if he's going to burn the building down? It makes sense now. So this is coming, you guys.
it is now the subject of the most desperate negotiations in American water history. with 7 states, countless tribes, and 40 million people all fighting over a resource that is vanishing faster than anyone thought possible. This is the story of how one river became the gate below full capacity.
Colorado just
See, all of these.
Now follow the water downstream. Lake Powell currently sits at roughly 3,531 feet of elevation, about 24%
That's how much the water's dropped, you guys. Look at this shit.
of its total capacity. The Bureau of Reclamation's and here is what is Rio Grande went completely dry through Albuquerque for 50 straight days. You could walk across the riverbed of the 4th longest river in the United States, in the middle of a city of 900,000 people.
These are all tokens of prophecy, man.
A landmark study published in Springer Nature
3%. That is all that is left. 3% of the water that is supposed to be sitting inside Elephant Butte Reservoir, New Mexico's largest reservoir.
So you got this, and then now you got these fuckers. You got Esau putting up all of these data centers, and I think the data centers do something like they devour like 5 million gallons or 1 million gallons a day. It's some ridiculous amount. So this is gonna get really bad, man. And it's what? It goes back to right here. Jeremiah 50:38. A drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up, for it is the land of graven images, and they are upon their idols. Let's get Isaiah. I want to make this really fast, okay? Isaiah 19. Isaiah 19. Let's just do verse 1. Because that's what this is talking about. So look, the burden of Egypt. Behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence. That goes into your white supremacy, your science, your Christianity, your patriotism, your left and right, your Democrat, Republican. Those are all idols. And the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and that's happening. And they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fall in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. And nothing's going to help them. So this is what this is. I just want to make this. I'm on my
The
way.
primary storage
But look,
is behind it, holding up.
The Cumberland River is Nashville's water supply. It feeds the treatment plants that serve over 1 million people across Middle Tennessee. Right now, that river is running at roughly a quarter of its normal flow. Some smaller rivers across the state are down to 16%.
how many more?
This is where the gap between the data and the official response starts to get in.
After 2 years of negotiations, 7
I mean, it's all the water.
The group of
It's
negotiators
going away, you guys.
Western lakes are running on fumes because of the basic physics of South Texas. It is hot, it is flat, and it is dry.
No, it's time. It's time. Prophecy is the reason why this is all happening. So I'm going to come back all the way up out of here. Just check. I mean, look. This is why. This is prophecy, you guys. So I'm going to cut this short. I pray that this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakagadash, and double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone of whom I learned from. It's your brother Radaf. Shalom.